Andrew Tate shite. Oh, fucking hell. I've heard the boys talking about him.
A back and forth that happened not too long ago is Andrew Tate versus Ashley Waters. So Adolescence was a Netflix series that come out, a bit of a hit piece on Andrew Tate, basically just saying he has a bad influence on these kids and look how they turn out. It's been a massive hit with Netflix, and Andrew Tate obviously was not liking anything about that series. It portrays him as being a negative influence, which he denied. Obviously, Ashley Waters is well known for his role in Top Boy as well.
Who is he to be in a series and demonize Andrew for the rise in violence in England?
Doing some promotion, Ashley Waters spoke out in a few interviews and basically just said that we can have influence on our kids rather than people like Andrew Tate, and he clapped back at it.
I think one of the great things we can do as men is just set the example that to be vulnerable is okay. We're talking about influences, right? We're talking about the Andrew Tates and whatever influence in young men. We can influence young men just the same by continually bombarding them with those positive messages and letting them understand that to be vulnerable, you know, to cry, to talk to people about how you feel, to be in places, in women's spaces and be cool and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's kind of what I try and do with my boys, you know, is just let them understand, like, I'm willing to look like an idiot, you know, I'm willing to be vulnerable. I'm willing to
learning as well.
Yeah. You know, it's like everyone's learning. We're all kind of going through that process, but I think we have to kind of break the barriers of kind of what masculinity means in general.
Ashley Waters had a big role in this series and the promotion around it, and both Tate brothers pointed out saying, what about your past? You used to rap about violent things. Wasn't you a poor influence on kids at a certain point in your life? Is what both Tate brothers had said because of his music career previously. So on the James English podcast, Tristan Tate, the brother, was first to call out Ashley Waters, formerly known as Asher D, for being a rapper and appearing in that series, and we'll also get into what Andrew said after.
About this adolescence, where yous are getting the blame for kids being killed in schools, like that's pretty serious on Netflix. It's a massive show as well. I watched that.
They're running out of ideas. And, you know, it's very easy to get mad at adolescents for saying Andrew Tate's name. But let's take Andrew Tate out of the equation. Let's talk about other things wrong with the series. One of the actors, one of the policemen, is Asher D, the former So Solid Crew guy. Have you ever listened to his music? Yeah. Well, have you ever listened to, like, you know, about being a road man, selling this, dealing that, stabbing this person? Who is he to be in a series and demonize Andrew for the rise in violence in England? One.
I think the Tate brothers were actually a fan of Asher D and his music. Not all of it is violence. Obviously, in rap music, you get the odd lyric here and there. For the most part, Asher D was a very talented rapper. They're just trying to point out and defend themselves more than go at the Asher D career.
Ask Romeo done. Back then we were like, show me your gun. Mac 10s we were like, go in your drum. In that sense, we were like known in your slum.
I think the main thing that Ashley Waters would say that he's changed and he's grew up. Obviously, the Adolescent series is a whole other dynamic. They're talking about the influence. They were trying to put forward a bit of a message to check on your kids and what they're consuming online, even outside of Andrew Tate, obviously.
Every parent's going to watch this show. When they finish watching this show, they're going to burst into their kids' room and be asking them, what's going on?
And give them a hug.
Yeah, and give them a hug.
Are you all right? And that's all we were trying to do. We're not pointing the finger at anyone. We're saying, can we just have a look at this?
Regardless of who they was pointing the finger at, and obviously they brought up Andrew Tate in the show, Tristan Tate just didn't agree with the show and the way it was made in general. This was the second point he made on that podcast.
Two, the people who are stabbing are not overwhelmingly. In fact, there's not a single case, I believe, of a white English boy of 13 ever stabbing a girl. So they say based on true story, but that's not a true story. I think they're trying to demonize the exact people that I fight for, the working class native British person. They're trying to demonize him. The fact that they've got Andrew's message completely wrong, because this guy is apparently heavily influenced by incel culture. Incel culture is not what Andrew and I teach at all. We teach a message of self-improvement. And if women don't like you, haha, loser, it's your fault. Do better. I feel like to even call someone an involuntarily celibate male when he's 13 is a sexualization of children. So the producer of the show needs to have his hard drive checked. The things wrong with this series is a lot longer than blaming Andrew Tate. But they got what they wanted out of blaming Andrew Tate. They got the headlines. They got Andrew talking about it. They got me and you talking about it right now. And I'll probably sue him at some point. But
Andrew Tate said, super disappointed. Ashley sold out with his bullshit that I call stabbing, as if I don't preach the total opposite, especially with a past like his. Everyone sells their soul in the entertainment industry, or you don't get the acting jobs. He knows his bullshit, could have stood on business, but was afraid of backlash. Guess he isn't so solid after all. Ashley spoke about his past in various interviews, how he grew up, and even a surprising situation he explained in that Louis Theroux interview just recently.
I mean, a lot of time my music was about fear. It was about fearing for my life. When people are outside your house pointing guns at you or shooting at your car or whatever, then there is a threat.
These things were happening.
These things were happening, yeah.
You said you had a gun pulled on you when you were carrying your baby at the time.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Like, do you know who it was?
It's just intimidation. I made a comment on radio. Lyrics that I'd wrote, someone was copying, and I just made a passing comment. I'm like, whoever's doing that, be original, you know what I mean? Maybe said it in a slightly more aggressive way than that. And they pulled up at my house. Like, I had to learn a lot of lessons. Like, I was...
Back in 2022, Ashley Waters actually got really emotional and alive over the whole Black Lives Matter situation, and someone had said in the comments, Ashley, you've done so much, you've paved the way in music, films, a role model, a realist by example. Keep your head up, soldier, we're behind you. And someone else said, Ashley is one of the only celebs in his generation not to sell out, so I only have thank you to say to him, big up King. And he went on an emotional rant about white people holding him back in his career.
Oh, don't tell me that my silence is immature. Where I've been left for dead on the street by white men, stabbed and left for dead, and these people have never been brought to justice, yeah? I've worked hard, put my life on the line for all these men out here, yeah? While this been going on, and I ain't saying nothing. I'm talking now. People are being killed out here and killed like shit. And all anyone can complain about is who's posting about it or who. Look, you don't know what I've been through for this thing. Half of you wouldn't even be working out if I hadn't been here doing my thing for the last how many years. Being bullied and held back by white people in this game.
Me personally, I actually like Ashley Waters. He definitely got a massive bag for the show, and he's definitely changed a lot over the years. He was very emotional around the whole Black Lives Matter times because of the stuff he's been through.
Don't ever question my loyalty for this thing. I wouldn't eat that. These people are cold-blooded killers, and no one ain't doing it. But I've been going through this for years. Years. Look at the scar on my neck. Yeah? They left me for dead when I was 15 years old like a little piece of shit. And no one went to jail for that. And I've dealt with that forever. And that's only one incident. So the moral of my story is, don't ever tell me, yeah, that because I don't post, that I don't have passion or feel anything. You people are really slow and stupid to be turning on each other at a time like this.
I see on an article in Lab Bible, Ashley Waters admits he effing regretted saying yes to the new Stephen Graham series, obviously the Adolescent series. Apparently he was crying filming Adolescence on set every day. Aside from pretty much saying the same stuff as Tristan about Ashley Waters being Ashley and having a violent past himself, and saying he could have a bad influence on kids when he was talking about that kind of stuff in his music, Andrew Tate wanted to get across the point that this was a government type project that had backing and financial support, and even was going to be played to kids in school. There was a massive psyop behind it.
The acting was okay, but it was very, very boring. And I'm wondering, how is it #1 trending on Netflix?
Because The Matrix pushes these things to the top.
This is something that can't really be disputed. There was actually talks in government about this project and Netflix putting it on and then playing it in schools to children, so they definitely get the message of the show.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Everyone is talking about Adolescence, the series by Knowsley's own Stephen Graham and Christine Tamarco. It highlights online male radicalisation and violence against girls. The creators of the show are calling for screenings in Parliament and schools to spark change. So will the Prime Minister back this campaign to counter toxic misogyny early and give young men the role models they deserve?
There's been some documents that I showed earlier, income from government grants, where they was already putting money into this project before it even come out and got released or was spoken about in Parliament. So the government have backed this from the start. It's a message they definitely want to get across.
Yeah. Prime Minister. Yes, and at home we are watching adolescence with our children. I've got a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, and it's a very, very good documentary to watch, or drama. This violence carried out by young men, influenced by what they see online, is a real problem. It's abhorrent, and we have to tackle it. We are putting in specialist rape and sexual offences teams in every police force doing work on the 999 calls, but this is also a matter of culture that I think it's important that across the whole house we tackle this emerging and growing problem.
Before this situation ever even emerged, Andrew Tate was already outspoken about rappers in general, saying that they have a worse influence than he does.
When I sit and try and teach young men to be disciplined and hardworking and diligent, I'm demonized and I am banned from school. Instead, we tell men to act feminine and act out on their emotions, and they get surprised when men then act angry. And the whole problem is this tornado, this upward spiral into insanity. And nobody's sitting there thinking, how do we fix this? So I made a video about knife crime 5 years ago. I made it very clear how I'd fix the problem. I made it very clear that they would be hung.
6-7 years in jail, the last 3 years you're out, you're already 18, you're out by the time you're 25, running around again. Fucking that guy's gone forever, that family's ruined forever. And you're running around with a fucking knife thinking you're Rambo. I would fix this shit instantly. There would be the fucking corpses of these fuckers hanging from the bridge. And I guarantee after the first 4 or 5 are hung, after the first 4 or 5 have cried their eyes out on TV, the rest of these little pussies are fixed.
What would you guys' thoughts if you did manage to watch it on that Netflix series? Overall as well, let me know your comments.